ready to raise me up? Yes. Tell me I am. I am here. I am here to be. I'm here to be a divine expression of God. Wow, that feels good. I feel like I'm raising up inside in my consciousness. If you're here to be a divine expression of God, I got that from Jackie Woodside, by the way. I was listening to her message from last week. If you're here to be a divine expression of God, it gives me permission to do the same. If you're here shining the light of Christ in you, in this place, it gives me permission to do the same. And, sorry to say, the reverse is true as well. If you're being angry, if you're being judgmental, if you're talking about others, if you are spreading negativity around, what are you doing? You're giving others permission to do the same. It's really important to watch what we're saying, watch what we're thinking, watch what we're doing. It's very important to remember the power of our minds, the power of who we are. We are here to rise up from that limited sense of self, that limited sense of self that was born in the idea of separation, mistaken idea of separation. So if you're feeling a little pressed in on by the world, if you're feeling a little of the darkness and distress of this world pressing in on you, there's one obvious thing that you need to do. Rise up from that limited consciousness and let your light shine. Give others permission to be kind. Give others permission to be compassionate. Give others permission to give of themselves. Give others permission to love one another. Give others permission to be a divine expression of God in this world. The only way to do it is for you to do it. That's going to give me permission to do it. That's going to light my inner fire. And if you're already shining your light in the world, well, then it's time to turn up the power. It's time to turn it up and let it shine brighter. Because there are those who are in so much darkness, they don't even know that the light exists. They don't know light exists in them. And they're feeling sad or they're feeling angry, and they're blaming everybody else for how they're feeling. And at least, if I come to Unity, I want to come to a place that says, you're responsible for your own feelings. You're responsible for your own experience. What you choose to think, what you choose to believe, and what you are choosing to feel is what is creating your experience in the world. It's not the economy. It's not the gas prices. It's not the politics. It's not even the weather. It's not climate change. It's not all of those things. Those things are a result of my mistaken idea about myself being projected onto the world. That's all that is. All of it, all of distress of humankind, and you guys know this, stems from the single idea that I am separate from you, that I am separate from the planet, that I am separate from creation. Everything that distresses us comes from that mistaken idea of separation. You've found the cause. And guess what? You've also found the solution. Because within you, you have the power to become what, Bruce? One again. You have the power to come back to oneness, to be aware of oneness, to be aware of not just our connection, but that we are one and the same. That we are one with everything. It's amazing what happens when you deny and when you denounce separation. When you let it go as a thought system. Because now your thought system is one of oneness. Your thought system is coming from one of total love, of compassion and awareness. And that's turning on your light. That's when you get to start to shine. You know, Lily and I just came back from one of the most wonderful things that ever happened to me in my whole life. My daughter got married. Yes, 33 years old. She lives out in L.A. And to a wonderful, wonderful young man, Kevin. I just love him so much. And it was an amazing experience. I can't tell you all of it now because you asked me to keep my sermons short. We'd be here for a few hours if I had to express everything that happened. And Lily and I also had the pleasure of attending Agape International Spiritual Center in L.A. with Reverend Michael Beckwith. And we met him, and it was amazing. It was a wonderful experience. But, you know, through the whole thing, you know, I don't remember much of what was said or much of what was done or the words of the songs or any of that, but I remember and I hold onto how it made me feel. Right? And that's what we need to pay attention to, is how are we making other people feel? The people around us, the people in our community. And if I mess up, you know, and somehow you're not feeling so great around me, or you've got some thing that still needs to be healed, then I'm right here, and you're right here. Let's let the Spirit of the living God within us take it away and heal it. And that goes for maladies of the body as well. That goes for conditions of the mind. That goes for your relationships. That goes for your finances. All of it. We can let go and let the Spirit of God within us bring it back to the truth of our abundance and our prosperity of spirit. And allow that spiritual substance to manifest in every way that we possibly need, that we could want or need. It will manifest in exactly the right way, in the right amount, at the right time, and you'll be with the right people experiencing it. Okay, so here's my prescription. The only way we can truly be the light of the world. Oh, that's not it. Oh, wait, must have got put in at the end. I sent an extra slide there. I'll just tell you about it. Is it at the end? It's the last slide? Okay, I'm going to go there real fast. Hold on, we'll get back. I'm giving you, this is a spoiler alert. You just watched the whole sermon. It's not there. Okay, sorry, that's Leonard's fault. We'll blame everything on Leonard. Lily says, no, it's my responsibility. Here's the statement. Okay, I didn't get a slide. Here's the statement. The only way we can truly be the light of the world is to rise up, surrender our ego to the Christ in us, and let that inner divine light shine. I got that from Jackie's message last week as well, is that we have a choice. If we're going to project our ego onto the world, or if we're going to step back and let the Christ in us lead the way. So we need to surrender, because we're going to have a personality, but we need to surrender that personality, that ego, to the Christ in us. You know, we used to, traditional Christianity would be to give your life to Jesus. But surrender it to the light in you is more powerful for me. Surrendering to the Christ light, that pure divine light within me. That's how I become the light of the world. Surrender my personality. Keep letting go. Surrender. Let go. Let God in me do the talking, do the walking. Let God in me take care of it. Let God in me move my feet. I am the hands and the fingers and the feet of God. I want to be the face of God. How do I do that? Surrender. Surrender my ego to the Christ in me, to God in me. Let it go. Surrender. Fears, concerns, And I know that they seem so heavy and so real and so important. Let it go. Surrender it to the Christ in you. You know, just yesterday I had a wrist that was hurting me so much. No matter what I did, tying my shoes, everything was so painful. And I was like, this is awful. I can't play golf today. Might have been the 142 rounds I had played this summer. But no, I went for a walk with my wife and we cleaned up the house instead. And guess what? After all that work, the pain went away. Why? Because I was moving my feet. I surrendered my ego to what I thought I wanted to do. Because, you know, any sunny day, I want to be on the golf course. But every once in a while, you got to stay home and do yard work. Bring in the summer lawn furniture. Yeah, paint the kitchen. 20 years later, John's still telling me I never finished my kitchen. But I digress. What was important for me is that by the end of the message last night, you know, probably around 10 o'clock on a Saturday night, I think I'm ready. You know, I can put the computer down. And about that time when the message was finished, so was the pain. Didn't come back. Hasn't come back today. So there was a thought talking to me in my body. It was always a call from the Christ in me to what I won't say should be doing, what would be for my higher good. Let's say that. Because literally, Spirit doesn't care what you do, but you do. So your spirit, your soul has to come in alignment with Spirit itself. When you're in alignment with Spirit itself, then you will know exactly, intuitively what to do each moment of every day. And then I won't have to create painful situations to remind me. You're not playing golf today. I love that. And you create all kinds of painful situations. We're creating a painful situation in the earth, that war doesn't work anymore. We're creating a painful situation that we can't keep doing what we're doing and not feel the effects of a changing climate. We are getting reminders from Spirit and from the earth that it's time to change our minds, that we cannot live from the thought system of separation any longer. Remember, there's a lot of ideas of what the problem is and what the solutions are, but the problem, remember, is separation. Our mistaken idea that we're separate. The solution? Come back to oneness. Oh no, I can't be one with you. You have a different idea than I have. You know, you're different than me. You're in a different socioeconomic class. Or you have a different political idea than I do. Or you're this or you're that. I can't join with you. Too late. You're already joined. You're already one. You can't separate from me. It's impossible. And then you try to kill all the people that you feel separate from. I'm sorry, I'm going off here, but this is the way of the world, quote unquote. The ego, separation. So that collective ego also has to be surrendered to the Christ energy, the God energy, the love energy. Surrender. Guess what? You're going to have to surrender sooner or later. You're the one that will feel the benefits. So your deepest fear is this surrender. Okay, I'm going to go to the slide now. The deepest fear is that you need to shine your light. That's your deepest fear. It's up to you. It's not up to somebody else. You can vote for whoever you want. They're not going to solve it for you. I don't care who it is. They're not going to solve it. The problem is one of separation. And the only way out of it is to shine our light. As we let our own light shine, we're unconsciously giving other people permission to do the same. What happens is we're liberated from our fear, and our own presence automatically will liberate others. Our own presence in the room will liberate that person or those people from their fear. I hope you're released from your fear right now. I'm not afraid that the chainsaw outside is going to distract you from my message. That chainsaw is not going to distract me from my purpose of reminding you. Here's the whole, you want to hear the whole quote? Here it is. Marianne Williamson. Our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light, not our darkness, that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There's nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure around you. We are all meant to shine as children do. We were born to manifest the glory of God that is within us. It's not just in some of us, it's in everyone. And as we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give others permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our fear, our presence automatically liberates others. If you want to free the world from what's going on in the world, you have to free yourself. Free yourself of your own fears. And you have freed the world already. Free yourself first. And don't even worry about how it's going to happen. Because literally the world or the human family is made up of 7 billion of us. So one at a time we free ourselves. We give others permission to be free. And guess what? Pretty soon, it's all back to oneness and free. But you have to stay there. I know that we are constantly tempted to go back to see if the old way works. Separating from others, judging them, they're the problem. We keep going back in time, saying, well, maybe that's going to work now. I'll judge them. I'll send out some posts about that. I'll do this, I'll do that. That'll get them. That'll get you. It's not going to get them. You're the only one affected by it. You're the only one affected by your judgments, and you're the only one affected by your forgiveness. You're the only one affected by your love. Guess what? If you're connected to everyone else, the effects will be felt. But you are the primary focus. You are the primary relationship, let's say, that you have in this world is with yourself. And so your primary focus can be on you. I'll give you an example. Lao Tzu said, if you want to awaken all of humanity, first you have to what? Awaken yourself. You have to awaken yourself. If you want to eliminate the suffering in the world, which I absolutely do, as many of you do, you have to eliminate all that is dark and negative within yourself. Does that make sense to anyone? Then why don't we do it? Why don't we do it? Because we're afraid. It's our light that we're afraid of, not our darkness. If we know this works, it at least makes sense on some level, at least intellectually, then why don't we try it? We're afraid to let our light shine. We're afraid to be God in a human form. Oh, Jesus was God, but nobody else. Gee, where does that leave me? I don't know. You'll go to heaven or hell depending on which rules you break. And what are the rules? Nobody knows. Go to every church in town, you're going to find different rules. It's not quite like that. The universe is one. I'm remembering that I am one. The effects of the darkness and negativity in me begin to diminish, then they disappear, I remember my oneness. I experience my oneness. Something happens energetically around me, and you want to experience your oneness too. And you begin to do the same thing. I can't do it for you, but you can awaken yourself. It's so simple. By eliminating all that is dark and negative within yourself, you eliminate the suffering of the world. Wow, what a simple formula, and yet no one wants to do it. It's so much easier than changing the other guy. I'm going to tell you right now. You're going to change that person out there. You'll be doing that a long time, and it'll never work. But when you eliminate all that is dark and negative within yourself, something miraculous happens. You give permission. It doesn't say you automatically awaken everyone. You give permission for them to awaken. I give you permission to discover your oneness. I'm just giving you permission to undergo this miracle of self-transformation that comes from discarding separation and embracing oneness. Isn't that cool? We're just giving you permission to do it, but you have to do it. It's your purpose in the world. And I'll tell you what, your purpose is to be happy. Your purpose is to be prosperous and abundant. Your purpose is to find perfect health in your body and mind and spirit. Your purpose is going to be finding any way possible to do those things. It doesn't matter how you do it or how much money you have. If you're abundant in spirit, the abundance of your purpose will unfold for you. Perfectly. Divine order, divine timing. So don't be dismayed by the brokenness of the world. Everything in the world is meant to break. But all things can be mended. Not with time, says L.R. Nost, but with intention. So the prescription is to go and love intentionally, extravagantly, unconditionally, because the broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. One of the most profound things that I have heard in a long time. And this is the woman who was L.R. Nost. A lot of people think, well, it must be a great philosopher, or, this big important personality. Yes, in fact, she's an amazing person. Some people, before they research, think it's a man. L.R. Nost, I know him. No, this is her right here. The broken world waits in darkness for the light that is you. The light that is you. The world's waiting just for you. Not somebody else. I'm giving you permission to be the light of the world. So, who is this wonderful woman? She's an author. She's an author of many books about raising children. She's the founder and director of Children's Rights Advocacy and a family consulting group. Her Little Hearts Gentle Parenting Resources is the group. Little Hearts Gentle Parenting. And she's the editor-in-chief of Holistic Parenting magazine and a mother of 6. And it's a little bit older picture, but I think she had her 6 children by that time. She's now dealing with cancer, by the way, and she needs our prayers. If you look her up online, you can see more pictures of her. She's very transparent about her life. And she's a very wonderful, wonderful person. Very important person in many people's lives that she's never met. It's not always the guy in the fancy suit. It's not always the philosopher from 2,000 years ago or the person you've been worshiping in church. It's more often than not a person just like this, just like you, who's doing so much to be the light of the world in her own perfect way. And I'm giving you permission to do the same. In your own perfect way, you are the light of the world. She says something else that I liked about children. She said, it's not our job to toughen our children up to face a cruel and heartless world. It's our job to raise children that will make the world a little less cruel and heartless. Again, I'm sure these, not just these statements, but this whole body of work has touched way more people than she could have ever imagined. Because she's had the courage to let her light shine. So I'm going to ask everyone here to hold this beautiful young lady in the light today, to see her healed and whole in body, mind, and spirit. To know that she's touched us even though we've never met. That we are one and we hold the same intention for the human family, to heal and to remember our oneness. It's for El Arnast. We see you healed and whole this very day. And we will see it manifest in your body and your affairs. And so it is. Amen. Amen. So you see, it's not difficult to be great. It's not hard to be the light of the world. Everybody can be great, says Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King, because anybody can serve. You don't have to have a college degree to serve. You don't have to make your subject and your verb agree to serve. You only need a heart full of grace and a soul generated by love. And in my experience, all one needs to make a difference in this world is, yes, a heart full of grace, which we already really have, a soul generated by love, which is really what is true, but a determination to let the truth in us rise up and to let our light shine. Anybody can be great because anybody can serve. You can let your light shine. Let that ego be led by the Christ. You can surrender your ego to the Christ. It's not a battle that the ego is going to win. So surrender now. Let it go and give it back to the Christ. When the world's getting you down, my friends, it's time to shine. When your finances are running low, it's time to shine. When your body's feeling not so well, it's time to shine. When your relationships aren't working out the way you thought they would, right? It's time to shine. When the universe seems to be working against you rather than for you, it's time to shine. It's time. Put it on your refrigerator. I don't care. Just remember, my friends, when everything seems to be going in the wrong direction, stop. Stay still. Stand in the gap between right and wrong, good and evil, up and down. And remember, there's only one presence, one power, one love, one light. And I'm going to take that light and I'm going to remember it's time to shine. Thank you. I love you.
You have been watching the message from our Sunday celebration service here at Unity on Cape Cod, providing a positive path for spiritual living. Please join us every Sunday morning at 10 a.m. at 147 Walton Ave, Hyannis, Mass., and visit us online at unityoncapecod.org. This video was made possible in part through a grant from Unity Worldwide Ministries and the Templeton Foundation.